My name is Conan, and the evil king killed my whole family. So I spent years building up this muscle mass you now see before you, so I can get my revenge.
Conan, a strong name. My deepest condolences for your loss.
Hello everyone, it's me, Kalle from TunerMax again, and today I have a bit of a different video than usually, because I guess many of you are aware of the fact that developers are researching ways to communicate with AI in games, so to have NPCs that you can actually talk to with your normal voice and then they will reply. And there are like a bunch of mods of this, for example, for Skyrim VR, so I guess some of you surely have seen the stuff, and there are also games announced that will have this as a feature. But the thing is, you can already do it now, and I want to show you two examples today. One is the Project Golden Kingdom VR my colleague Tom has been working on for quite a while now. And the other, surprisingly, is cyubeVR, which just got a brand new update where you can talk to deer, if you can believe that. So let's jump right into my desktop and get this thing started. So maybe you've heard of YouTuber VoodooDE, who is a German VR specialist YouTuber who mostly talks about PC and meta stuff, and of course also a little bit about PlayStation VR 2. He's got almost 140,000 subscribers at this point, and he recently made a poll where he asked his viewers where they see the biggest potential for AI use in future VR games. And so the options he put up were NPCs that you can talk to, infinitely generated diverse quests, realistic physics and enemy reactions, and I don't need AI, I prefer handmade design. And interestingly, the AI NPCs got the vast majority with 52%, whereas in his English-speaking community, it got 50%. So that's pretty similar. And also the other points are quite interesting, I think, because for one, there is a lot of negativity about AI, which is often deserved, I guess. But still, I'm a little bit surprised that only 23% of the English-speaking viewers and 17% of the German-speaking viewers gave the answer that they don't want AI and prefer handmade design. I would have expected this number to be quite a bit higher. But on the other hand, for me as a developer and artist, if you will, it's kind of a relief to hear that only 6% of the Germans and 9% of the English-speaking audience said they would like infinitely generated quests. So that means to me that most people still think this stuff is better if it's made by humans, stories and lore and all that stuff. And I totally agree, because I think these generated games, if they come to fruition, will probably still feel a bit bland, at least in the beginning. Like all these AI slop videos that look impressive in a way, they almost look like Pixar animated movies that cost millions of dollars. But if the content itself is also AI generated, then it's always mind-numbingly shallow and stupid. And I think it will be the same for generated games. But I guess we'll all have to see how this will turn out. But as I said, I will give you a little glimpse into the future now. So let's jump right into the Golden Kingdom VR project. So here we are in the 16 square kilometer desert of Golden Kingdom VR, which is a side project my colleague Tom has been working on for 2 years now in his spare time, after his full-time job and family. And there are already a bunch of videos out there. We released this as a free demo on Steam a year ago, so you can check those out if you want more information. But the important thing to know is that this is like a super high-spec demo that is supposed to show basically the future of VR. So you really need an RTX 4090 and a super beefy PC, even better if it has a 5080 or 5090 to run this thing in a good frame rate. But what I did today was like the total opposite. I just used my older gaming PC with the RTX 2080, because I think this kind of has a similar performance to the PlayStation VR 2, especially if you use eye-tracked foveated rendering. And the other benefit of this graphics card is I can just plug in the PSVR 2 directly and I don't need any adapter or anything. So that was very comfortable for me to do. But because there is no eye-tracked foveated rendering on this PC version, it looks pretty jaggy, and also there's this weird shaking that I could see in the headset, but I guess that's not a problem. So the thing that's new now in the latest closed beta is this guy over there. And this is like an Unreal Engine meta-human with built-in AI, so we can talk to this guy. Who are you?
Grüße, ich bin Theseus, ein Bogenschütze, geflohen vor einem bösen König.
Why don't you speak English?
Ah, you wish for me to speak English then? My apologies, sometimes my thoughts drift back to the tongue of my homeland. I can certainly speak in English for you. What is it you would like to know?
What are you doing around these parts?
These parts? Well, I'm just trying to put some distance between myself and a rather unpleasant king. He wasn't too fond of my opinions, you see. So I wonder, And in this vast, lonely desert, a friendly face is a welcome sight. What brings you to these dusty lands?
Well, I'm also looking for the evil king.
You seek the evil king? That's unexpected. My name is Caesius. And you, friend?
My name is Conan, and the evil king killed my whole family.
Conan, a strong name. My deepest condolences for your loss. To have your family taken by such tyranny, it's a wound that never truly heals. I understand your desire for justice. Perhaps we could be a good pair then. Your might and my aim, tempered by a bit of foresight. What say you? Shall we see where this path takes us together?
Yes, awesome. Come on, follow me.
Aye, Assam. Lead the way. It's good to have company on this dusty road.
Let's see what's right up that hill over there. I knew it. Look what we have over there.
My apologies, Conan. It seems I've lost your trail for a moment. The shifting sands can play tricks on the eyes. Where exactly are you headed?
Well, I think that over there looks just like the evil king's castle, right? So what do you say? What is the best plan of attack?
The best plan of attack? That depends. Is this indeed his castle? And if so, how well is it defended? We can't simply charge in, Conan, no matter how strong your arm or how true my arrow. We need information. A reconnaissance, perhaps. We should approach cautiously, observe, and then decide. What do you think?
That's a great idea. Let's go and check out the castle from up close. So the thing how this solution works and why it's not public at the moment is that this uses a AI plugin called convAI or something, where the data I put in, like my voice, is transmitted online to a processing platform, and this then generates the whole response. So it's capable of giving very complex answers, and you can put in a lot of backstory for the characters. Of course, it takes a little bit of time. I also have to admit I cut a little bit of the silences between the answers to make it more interesting for you guys. But I also have to say, when I look at the footage, I realized that even I always took a little bit of time before I answered the guy, so that was really interesting. So I wasn't that much slower than myself, actually. And also there were some technical difficulties where I had like garbled feedback from my own microphone. So I overdubbed that in the little Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, of course, to make it a little bit more entertaining. Because, the thing is, again, as always with VR, you have to experience it for yourself, basically. If you're in there, it feels so super immersive to talk to this person because they seem to have a real presence, This is also how I got the idea to have all these radio conversations in our game Snow Scout, because I have the feeling you're much more emotionally involved in VR automatically, because it's 3D and it all feels so real. And then if you hear somebody talking to you on the radio, it's much more intense than in a traditional flat game. And of course, if you even have the person standing right in front of you and looking somewhat realistic thanks to the Unreal metahumans with lip-synced animations and all of that, that is super impressive. And even more so if you realize they really can understand what you're saying and give fitting answers. But I guess that doesn't come across that much in a video, so I try to keep it a little bit on the short side. And the reason why this solution can't be made public at the moment is that you need an account for this, and it costs money after you use a certain amount of processing power. So this is way too complicated for home use in a way. But of course, there's also another way. You can integrate the language learning model directly into your game. But of course, that kind of limits the scope because it takes up a lot of RAM and also processing power, obviously. But Stonebrick Studios, the developer of CubeVR, has just introduced a beta to his Steam version of the game where you can actually talk to deer. And the way he did it is he put in a very small model where you can choose between 3 quality levels, lowest, low, and medium, which can give different complexities of answers. Of course, a very important thing to know is that you can also switch the talking deer off, or they're even off by default. But I guess it's much easier to show than tell, so let's just jump right into it.
Hello, dear. How are you, my dear?
I'm a bit antsy, but I'm doing fine. What's up with you?
Oh, I'm good. What are you antsy about?
I'm just hopping around, nibbling on some pretty green stuff, and generally being a bit clumsy. What are you doing?
Enjoying a little walk here in this beautiful forest.
Oh, that sounds lovely. What's your name?
My name is Kalle. What's yours?
I'm just a regular deer. No special name. But your Colin sounds like a cool name. What about you? Do you have any pets?
Do you mind if I pet you for a minute?
Only if you're gentle, my friend. I'm not a cuddly deer, but I can tolerate a little touch. Just don't poke my antlers. They're pretty sharp.
Now that's a good deer.
So that was my little excursion into the snowy forests of CubeVR. I thought this deer is pretty hilarious. Of course, the audio quality isn't the best and there's a little bit of wait time involved still. But I think it's super interesting that everybody who's enrolled into the CubeVR beta program can now directly try this out. And I, for one, am pretty curious to see where this journey goes. I mean, we've seen this poll from VoodooDE, what other gamers think about it. But what I don't know yet is your opinion. So I would be super stoked if you could leave a comment and tell me how you like all this and where do you think the journey is going. And then I hope to see you all in the next video.
Have a nice evening and see you soon. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe my channel and click on the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Bye!